Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we got a shorter video. We are going to review or react to a video that was sent in by a subscriber by the name of Dutch Totoro. He's a streamer, YouTuber from the Netherlands. He has a channel called Dutch Totoro. So it's, if you've heard of the movie My Neighbor Totoro, it's a Ghibli Studios movie. He's a big fan of Ghibli Studio, their movies, the animated films, and so I'll put his channel somewhere up here. I'll put his travel channel, guys. His main channel. He does like YouTube gaming videos, like survival, 7 days to die, and things like that. Like survival games, if you like that stuff. But I'll put his he made a new channel, Dutch Totoro Travels, where he's biking around Europe, basically, I think, in different countries. Has really good views in the cities and outside of the cities with really good music. So I'll post that. Check him out. With that, let's get into the video. This one is called, he sent this to me. It's called The Truth About American Cities, Part 1, Strong Towns. It's by a channel called Not Just Bikes. So Not Just Bikes, The Truth About American Cities. So I haven't seen this. He, like I said, he's a big fan of bike riding, and he loves Europe. So we'll check this out. Not sure what the volume's going to be like.
From the very beginning of Not Just Bikes, I had planned to do a series of videos about a U.S. nonprofit organization called Strong Towns. They have produced a lot of great content online already, but I think their message is too important not to share with my audience on YouTube as well. If you have watched this channel before...
I've never heard of the organization. When did they put this video out? 5 years ago? Okay. I never heard of that organization, Strong Towns.
You'll know that I've traveled all over the world and developed my own ideas about what makes a city great. Strong Towns is really interesting to me because they came to many of the same conclusions that I did, but from a totally different perspective.
I don't think the B-roll, yeah, De Kaswag, this looks like German or somewhere. It's definitely not America. That's what I was just gonna say. Kind of these cities with these towns. I guess I haven't been all over the States, guys, but this doesn't look like the U.S.
And they fundamentally changed the way I looked at cities, and especially city financing. I've learned over the years that when it comes to city design, the Netherlands does this better than almost any other country in the world.
Okay.
Nevertheless, I sometimes see Dutch people in the comments of my videos speaking enviously about the spacious roads and suburbs in the United States.
Spacious. So they probably think it's compact, and then they think this is spacious. Oh, so this is Jacksonville. Okay, so the last city was down below too, I think.
To me, that makes this Strongtown series of videos important to my whole audience, as they have a lot to teach us about the problems with American-style city design. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of Strongtowns and some of the core topics that will be discussed later in this series. Strongtown.
If roundabouts ain't in this video, man, I'm not a fan.
Towns was started in 2008 by Charles Marone. He says his friends call him Chuck, so I guess I'll call him Charles. Charles worked as a civil engineer in Minnesota, and he noticed that the cities and towns he worked...
Hey, shout out to Minnesota. Knife River. My half brother works for them. He drives for them. Cool.
...were growing and building lots of roads and infrastructure that he helped to design. But somehow, these growing cities were also going deeper and deeper in debt every year.
To close down Kmart.
They were building lots of roads and development projects, but still going broke. He discovered this wasn't just something that happened in his part of the country. Rather, towns and cities all over the United States, and in Canada too, were on a similar path of decline. And it all stemmed from the American pattern of city development that had started after the Second World War. Strong Towns calls this the suburban experiment, a method of development that is drastically different than any other in the history of cities. But I'll talk about that in more detail.
Yeah, or around the world. My wife and I finished watching Downton Abbey for I don't know how manyth time, but we love seeing the European architecture, Spanish architecture. My wife's from Central America, and then you drive around town here. You know, you drive around here in the suburbs, like they said, and we used to laugh at Edward Scissorhands, the movie, right? The neighborhood that they're in, you know, all the houses are different colors and whatever. And you know, people, I think the satire in that, and that was made in the 80s, was all the houses look the same, right? But it's all like colorful and everything. And you drive around new developments today in America, and every house, even in some of these developments, guys, where houses are $1 million plus, they're all looking the same, right? They're in an HOA unit or HOA community, so every house has to every spec has to be the same. You got to have two trees in your front lawn, you know, all this.
Future video. As Charles started investigating further, it became clear that the American system of growth and development was fundamentally broken, and it has guaranteed the decline of American cities. Now for me, that's about where I stopped. Personally, I had moved cities so many times that I no longer had a home anymore. So there was no incentive for me to stay in any one place and fight
Like
to
a
make it
nomad.
better. Instead, my wife and I researched what we thought was the best place in the world for us to live, and did everything we could to move there. Charles, on the other hand, was braver, more patriotic, and maybe crazier, depending on the way you look at it.
Okay.
He realized there were places in America that were not broken.
I like how this guy admits that, you know, him and his wife didn't plant down their roots anywhere, so they moved around so much that they couldn't even really, you know, establish any roots and really having no need to care for the outcomes then, really, right?
Places that had built wealth and prosperity and that could do it again.
But he didn't do it willy-nilly, right? They set goals on where they wanted to live, so I like that.
The downtowns, the main streets, the streetcar suburbs of the early 20th century. These were places that had good bones and could be built upon to rebuild American cities. Once you learn about strong towns, you'll start to understand why car-dependent suburbia can't continue. It's not a matter of preference or how people want to live. These places simply cannot sustain themselves. I believe that the material of strong towns is absolutely necessary to understanding how successful cities work. So
Okay.
as this channel progresses, I'm going to be slowly building a library of videos on the concepts presented in strong towns.
We might have to watch
Topics
this
such
series.
as the growth Ponzi scheme. The idea that American suburbs are literally a Ponzi scheme. A
Man,
development pattern that constantly needs more growth and often more debt in order to keep them solvent. Why
man, shout out to Dutch, man. Thank you, sir, for this recommendation, man. It's June in 2026, and you know, with the economy and everything, right? Prices are just at an all-time max. I just talked about in a recent video how young people, you know, my daughter's going to graduate high school next year, and we don't really see how, you know, if she were to get married and start a family right after high school, right? I don't know how a young man is supposed to afford, you know, single family homes in my town are going up for $500,000. And I don't see how that's affordable. And I think the pendulum's going to have to swing. I think everybody feels like we're at this breaking point with the economy. You know, people are buying 30-year-old cars now, guys. You look at Facebook Marketplace and you got 30-year-old cars for $10,000 because the demand is so high, right? Because nobody can afford a brand new vehicle. People have car payments that are $1,500 a month. You add in full coverage insurance on that. Even half of that, $750, guys. I mean, I all my vehicles, man, have been, you know, beaters. I don't think I've ever had a car. My Mustang, you know, that I've shown a little bit on the channel here and there. It's in my intro clip. I sold it last summer. That was my highest car payment I ever had, guys. And I think I was at like 300 something. We have USA insurance because I'm a veteran. It's super cheap insurance, even with full coverage on that, because it's an old car. But yeah, you know, we were paying above and beyond that payment, and I was making payments of like $400. You know, so I don't know how people are affording the vehicles that they're driving. But this was from 2008, and maybe we may be reaching that peak that they're talking about in here. We may have to continue this
American
series
cities are
as well.
broke. Why cities all over the US and Canada never seem to have enough money for roads,
Yeah.
bridges, water mains, or in some cases, even basic city services.
Minnesota, the interstates, guys. I'm a truck driver. We're working on them all every year, all summer, every year. There's construction everywhere.
traditional development. How is it that beat-up old downtowns like this one in my hometown actually generate more money for the city than the shiny big box stores on the periphery? The Strode, the most dangerous, inefficient, and financially reckless way to build a street.
Well, I think unfortunately, like you said, I think unfortunately now because we've gone in this direction, even the small businesses in these downtowns aren't surviving anymore.
So in future videos, I'll discuss these and many more topics about how and how not to build a prosperous city.
We'll have to look how long this series went into the future and how long they followed it up. See if there's anything current somehow.
Now, since this is Not Just Bikes, I'm going to use these topics as an opportunity to trash talk North American cities. I mean, seriously, look at how ugly this is. But hopefully, in the spirit of Strong Towns, I can talk about how these things can be improved too.
Yeah.
And of course, to also serve as a warning to any cities wanting to emulate the American pattern of development.
This wood? What's going on here? I don't know anything about construction, but oh, this is probably steel. It's probably painted like that, right?
So for all of you out there too lazy to just read the damn book that Strong Towns published last year,
Oh,
stick
wow.
around as we'll explore the ultimate guide to building strong towns. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my supporters on Patreon who pay me to summarize other people's content for fun and profit. If
Yeah.
you'd like to support the channel, I'd like you to first consider a donation to Strong Towns instead.
That's what
to
we're
help
doing
support
too.
the great work they do. I'll put a link to their donation page in the description. Of course, if you don't give a crap about
Let's see. Despite the damage, there are trillions of dollars spent every year on America's current development pattern to overcome the entrenched inertia of the status quo. Strong Towns is building a bottom-up movement for change. You can join this effort. Okay. I wonder if they have podcasts, articles. I wonder if they're current, guys. This video came out 5 years ago. Maybe we'll have to do
I'll put a
some
link to their
some
donation
research and
page in
check
the
this out.
description. Of course, if you don't give a crap about improving American cities, then you can donate to my Patreon instead. Visit patreon.com/notjustbikes.
Cool. Well, yeah, maybe we'll have to continue. I guess when he sent me over that video, he didn't really give me any context or anything. So let me know your guys' thoughts, guys. I will say I want to say thanks to everybody on YouTube, or the people that are watching my videos. So in my AI video, a ton of people commented on it. I'm learning a ton in the comments, guys. Like I've been thinking recently about what YouTube has become, or how it's evolved, I guess. And I'm even thinking about how people used to learn things back in the day. Now, don't get me wrong. I think everybody can appreciate expertise and how-to videos, DIY people, right? Even learning anything, right? Coming onto YouTube. But I listen to like a lot of podcasts, right? I'm a gamer, so I've listened to a lot of gamer guides, right? And you wonder how people survived back in the day, and they did just fine, guys, right? Like we don't need to have a big philosophy course on how they did, is what I'm saying. And so part of my channel, I'm not just here to tell you guys how to think or what to do, or whatever. I know maybe some of my past videos, and I'll share my opinion for sure. You guys know that I have strong beliefs, but I think kind of the communication, and again, on the AI data center video specifically is what I'm talking about. I learned a bunch of stuff, your guys' opinions, different information, stuff like that. So I appreciate the comments, guys. Leave them down here. Let me know what you think. Where do you guys live at? Do you like these European style cities better than American? Like I said, my wife's from Central America, but she kind of loves the inner cities here. Like we live just south of Minneapolis, St. Paul, and you have your public transportation that you don't really have out here in the suburbs. The train, the bus, everything is a lot more condensed, and obviously it has to be, right? And that's kind of a lot of these European style cities. You can bike everywhere, right? Everybody's got a bike, and me just e-biking to and from work, guys. I thank God I work I drive truck out of the city that I live in, 4 miles down the road, and I've been riding my e-bike to and from work. You know, I'm not a big electric guy, right? I had that Mustang. I'd much prefer a muscle car over a Tesla if I had Tesla money. But just the exercise, the sunlight, you know, if I could walk to work, that'd be great. I did walk home from work one day a couple weeks ago, and it took about an hour. So if I walked both ways, it would be an extra 2 hours on my days. But anyways, guys, that's the video. Maybe we will look into checking out this series. I'm definitely going to look and see if it's current. Like I said, it was from 5 years ago. So with that, guys, hope you enjoyed. Leave your comments down below. Please give me your opinions. Let me know where you live at, how your cities are. And as always, guys, God bless. Yeah. Yeah, all right. Yeah, do I put in the AI robot now? Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Check out the video. Check out the video. Check out the video.